This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. A Winnipeg family is grieving and angry about the way their mother was treated at a hospital emergency room before she died. They say healthcare providers dismissed their concerns and her symptoms. Now they're speaking out because they don't want another family to experience their pain. CBC's Gavin Axelrod brings us their story.
Chelsea Mann holds on to the memories of her mother, Judy Burns. She's also angry and frustrated about how the 68-year-old was treated at the St. Boniface Hospital before she died.
Disbelief, heartache.
That's okay.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old son who's, misses his grandma, doesn't understand.
Burns was taken to the hospital on the morning of January 18th. She had been found on the floor by her bed and was described by Mann as nearly unconscious and suffering from rectal bleeding.
They did an EKG on her as well as blood work. And a couple hours later, they finally did a CT scan.
Burns was diagnosed with diverticulosis. Mann and her sister Samantha wanted their mom to get a scope. Doctors said a follow-up colonoscopy would be fine.
They didn't do another CT scan. They didn't take anything really seriously. Unfortunately, each doctor that we've seen said the exact same thing. Your mom is elderly. This is normal.
Burns' condition worsened that evening, and later her heart stopped. Hospital staff stabilized the 68-year-old for emergency surgery for an ulcer in her small intestine. But by January 21st, Mann says her mom was in a vegetative state. That's when the family decided to take her off life support.
The worst decision we had to make in our life. Was it the right one? We'll never know.
Mann says she feels like concerns about her mother's condition and her symptoms were dismissed by ER doctors.
They made me feel almost crazy that I don't know what I'm talking about, that they honestly didn't care.
Health Minister Uzoma Asagwara says Burns' loved ones deserve to have their concerns addressed.
The experts are reviewing her case and they'll be making a decision as to whether or not it meets the threshold for a critical incident review. But first and foremost, that family deserves answers. They have questions, they deserve answers.
The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority also says they're reviewing the circumstances to determine appropriate follow-up. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The NDP government is intervening to stop a personal care home in Winnipeg from closing down. The province is taking over the Golden Door Geriatric Centre in Fort Garry. But while the government is celebrating the move, one critic says it has itself to blame for this home nearly closing.
Every day, Maurice Tryhook visits his wife at Golden Door Geriatric Centre. His only previous indication the personal care home might close, some beds were empty.
When I first was approached about coming here, it was a matter of waiting for months. And now I go over here and I see vacancies. Well, it doesn't add up.
Now he knows that last year, the owners informed the province they would close the home. The government says it tried to buy the property. But when those efforts failed, the province began expropriating and taking over the home.
The public has always been very clear with our government and very clear with me. They want more housing for seniors. They want more care for seniors, not less.
Golden Door stopped accepting new resident admissions almost a year ago. The health minister says the province is working on filling the 25 vacancies. The government is avoiding what happened to the former Lyons Place, a nonprofit seniors complex that was sold to a private company under the former PC government.
So it's really good to see a government seeing the importance of protecting things like long-term care homes for seniors.
But the independent MLA for the area says the province is to blame for underfunding these facilities.
They've had new union contracts which have raised their labor costs, and they've had skyrocketing costs when it comes to food, and the cost of living increases are also hitting personal care homes.
He's spoken to facility operators struggling to get by.
And I've had, for the last 2 years, a number of personal care homes warn me that they would take steps like what is happening here at this PCH.
Company records say this home is operated by Pembina Care Services. The company declined to comment while the expropriation process is underway. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The second day of the inquest into a 16-year-old First Nation girl's death heard from its first witnesses today. Aisha Hudson was shot and killed by police in 2020 after officers chased a stolen Jeep following reports of a liquor store robbery. CBC's Rosanna Hempel was in court.
Family members and supporters, including Aisha Hudson's father, gathered in a courtroom in Winnipeg Tuesday to hear for the first time from police officers involved in the final hour of her life. The inquest into her death heard from the first two witnesses, officers responding to a liquor store robbery.
Winnipeg Police Sergeants Dustin Drager and Jeff Vincent were constables that day in April 2020 when a police pursuit of a stolen Jeep ended with an officer shooting Hudson. According to an agreed statement of facts, Drager and Vincent were the ones who came across the Jeep in the Sage Creek area, which was connected to the robbery minutes earlier. The inquest heard the police helicopter wasn't available at the time, and Drager and Vincent began following the Jeep. The pair tried to do a traffic stop in a cul-de-sac, and the Jeep drove past them, hitting the front of their cruiser. Vincent says they then decided to chase the vehicle because apprehending the people inside outweighed the risk to the public, which they testified was low, given there weren't many cars and pedestrians out during the pandemic. Other police crews also responded and set up tire deflation devices at different intersections. Eventually, at Fermor and Lagimodiere, the Jeep lost control. Drager agreed it had become a chaotic situation. Both officers said as they approached the Jeep on foot, they heard two gunshots, but neither saw who fired.
The inquest doesn't assign blame and will look at whether systemic racism played a role in Hudson's death and whether the use of force was appropriate. It's expected to hear from other officers in the case and teens who were in the Jeep. The inquest continues on Wednesday. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Premier Wab Kinew was in Churchill today, where he threw his support behind the idea of federal protection for the waters off Manitoba's Hudson Bay coast. As CBC's Bartley Kivas reports, there are questions about how that fits with Kinew's support for shipping oil and gas through the bay.
About a quarter of the world's beluga whales swim off the Manitoba coast of Hudson Bay. The provincial and federal governments now want to protect these waters as part of a new national marine conservation area managed by Parks Canada, somewhat like a park, but from the seabed to the surface.
At the highest level, you got a commitment from our government that we want to protect the waters in the area as we pursue economic development.
That development is a plan to upgrade the Port of Churchill and explore the idea of shipping oil and gas through Hudson Bay. The Premier says environmental protection and industrial development can coexist.
I want Manitoba to have economic growth, and I want Manitoba to have a pristine, clean, safe, healthy environment as well, too.
To that end, the province is ponying up $250,000 to study the feasibility of the marine conservation area. The feds say they'll cover most of the cost, which includes consultations with Indigenous communities. Environmental organizations support the idea of protecting these waters, but they're skeptical Kinew can balance that with petroleum exports.
We cannot be using Hudson Bay to export fossil fuels.
Eric Rader is a campaigner with the Wilderness Committee. A decade ago, his organization and others fought against efforts to explore oil shipments through Hudson Bay.
There's a lot more we can do. There was a lot of strategy and tactics that we haven't pulled out yet, and the very first time that we get an elected official tell us they're going to try and put fossil fuels into Hudson Bay, it's on. We're going to come out and we're going to stop that project.
Precisely where the conservation area will go has yet to be determined. Bartley Kivas, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, another day of cold temperatures here in Manitoba. CBC meteorologist Colette Kennedy joins us now. Hey, Colette.
Thanks, Marjorie. Well, okay, believe it or not, we do have some milder air that is pushing into the province. It just hasn't quite made its way all the way across. So we do have changes coming for the next couple of days here. Starting you off with a look at the temperatures from this morning. I mean, I know it didn't feel mild with some of these readings around the Red River Valley, but if you look back towards the west, that's where you see temperatures. It was kind of a split decision for the western part of the province where those readings were much milder. And so what happens into the afternoon? Look how much those temperatures came up. We're still working on things here a little bit further east, but that is going to be the trend. Now we're dealing with that area of low pressure and some light flurry activity moving through. So that minus 14 feeling like minus 22, and same thing in terms of the wind chill into tomorrow morning. But the winds will be changing direction, and that's very important. It means in the afternoon we're up to minus 6, although it becomes a little breezy, but that won't actually be the high for the day. I will fill you in on those details when I come back.
Thanks, Colette. Coming up, the province is making progress on its plan to get people out of encampments and into housing. More on that straight ahead. Stay with us. The Manitoba government is making progress in their goal to end homelessness. Since the Your Way Home plan was tabled last year, a large number of people have been housed and dozens of encampments have been taken down. The city and some other not-for-profits are making some progress as well. CBC's Mike Arsenault explains.
The issue of encampments and homelessness has been a top priority for the city and the province. The province's Know Your Way Home strategy and the city's encampment bylaw saw both levels of government working to get people out of encampments and into housing. Tuesday, the province released some stats that show they've made some progress. The Manitoba government says a total of 170 people who were living in encampments have been housed by the province. They took down 100 tents and say an additional 80 people have been moved from shelters to social housing. People experiencing homelessness who get housing through the province end up in social housing. St. Boniface Street Links is working independent of the province to house people living in encampments. Executive Director Marianne Willis says they use the private sector.
So from January 1st last year to December 31st, we housed 386 people, I believe. And we dismantled in total 44 encampments.
Willis says even though her model is different than other organizations, they all serve a purpose and have the same goal to end homelessness. In a community development meeting Tuesday, the acting manager, Greg McPherson, said the city's made some progress cleaning up encampments.
37 sites were remediated by the city, by our garbage removal teams. And so this includes many of the 14 sites noted above and others that were vacated due to fire or reported and confirmed vacant by the outreach provider.
The Your Way Home strategy estimated there were 700 people living out of encampments as of January 2025. The province's goal is to end chronic homelessness by 2031. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A Winnipeg mother has been sentenced to more than 2 years after her 23-month-old daughter died from fentanyl intoxication in 2023. CBC's Caitlin Gawryluk was in court today.
A home cluttered with garbage, dog feces, and syringes, all accessible to a little girl who later died of fentanyl intoxication. A Winnipeg judge described those conditions as deplorable as he sentenced the toddler's mother to over 2 years. Sabrina Boulette wiped tears from her eyes as she was sentenced Tuesday. She previously pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of her 23-month-old daughter, Hannah Boulette. Emergency services responded to their home in March 2023 after the girl's father, Gary Bruce, called 911. Almost a year later, police announced Hannah's parents had been charged with manslaughter. An autopsy found she died from high levels of fentanyl intoxication. The girl's father pleaded guilty last month and was sentenced to time served. With credit for her time in custody, Boulette will serve just over 5 more months. Court heard the parents initially denied there were drugs in the home. Boulette eventually told police they lied about what happened. She said she didn't call 911 because she feared their daughter would be taken from them. Court heard Tuesday while the girl's father was an active drug user at the time, Boulette was in treatment for her addiction. The judge who sentenced her said he had hope for her future and encouraged her to get grief counseling. Caitlin Gawryluk, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, the cost of living keeps going up, and that has a lot of people looking for ways to save. One way that can make a difference, whether you pay by cash or credit. CBC's Emma Weller explains.
Do you pay with cash or credit? With the high cost of living top of mind for many Canadians, I wanted to find out how people are managing their money and how they're saving when they get to the till.
I much prefer using credit. With credit cards, there's all sorts of benefits. One of the bigger ones is you're able to collect points.
I use cash because it makes me feel safe.
Most people's credit limit is much higher than they were carrying cash in their pocket. So it gives them access to that money if there's an emergency.
My grandparents always told me, credit cards are a trap. You spend money that you don't have, and you're making a bet on the future.
Hero Van Harten started using cash as a young mom, living on one salary with 4 kids.
Money was often tight, so I had to be careful with the cash. When I was in the grocery store, I had to look at the cash, hold the cash in my hand, see what I could spend.
She says this forces you to pay closer attention to what you're buying instead of it getting lost in a digital statement. This finance expert agrees.
When you're able to tap with your credit card and make any purchase, impulse purchases just become more frequent.
But if you do it right and pay your credit card off, he says the points can be worth it. Thompson is an example of that.
It's in the thousands of dollars that I save per year. I think over 8 years at a certain store, I've amassed more than $30,000 worth of points through that program.
If you're the type of person who charges everything to their credit card just to earn points, there's a good chance you're actually spending more than the points are worth.
There's a lot of these little tricks, I'll call them tricks, that the companies play to make consumers feel as if this is kind of a fun way to get free stuff.
And if you don't pay off your credit card every month,
it's never worth it because most credit cards charge an interest rate of 20% or more. No rewards you earn are ever worth that much.
Going to a bank to withdraw cash might not be the most convenient thing, but at the end of the day, it might help you save a few bucks. Emma Weller, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, Colette, you had some good news weather-wise earlier. What else do you see coming?
Well, we've got a couple of good things coming our way. I mean, I was mentioning that there's some milder air coming in. And what else? Well, at this time of year, we can look to what's going on with our sunrise and sunset to see that we're also getting more daylight hours. So we're gaining over 3 minutes a day when we get the sunshine, but in terms of our daylight hours there. Your normal temperatures, I know it was a little on the cool side this morning, even colder than that, but we do have a bump coming in those readings for almost 2 days, and then things will change around once again. So we're going to watch this area of low pressure. We get these clippers, often the Alberta clippers, because of where they form. Well, this one's coming more Yukon, NWT, and riding along the jet stream. We get that bump in temperatures across not just Manitoba, but over the provincial border into northwest Ontario as we're going through Thursday. And then here it comes on Friday. The door shuts and the cold air will be streaming back in. But tomorrow those temperatures begin to come up, especially later in the day. We get the benefit on Thursday, and then things change. Now, there'll be a few other things happening as that system goes through. I'll walk you through that. We're getting clearing. It's only beginning to the north. It's been a weak area of low pressure that's passing through, so kind of those bursts of flurries here and there. There hasn't been much to it, and we're talking about maybe, all told, for Winnipeg anyway, about 1 centimeter or so. Now, this next area of low pressure, though, this one a little more potent, a little more organized. Winds will be stronger, but more significant snowfall will track from the northwest part of the province across central regions and then into northwestern Ontario. Not likely to get too much coming south of the Inner Lakes region, kind of that line where things change over, but we could have a few flurries. And also it's important to note there's a few spots where we could get a little bit of light freezing precipitation. And in fact, even this evening out ahead of this system, the one that we're dealing with right now, not the one to come, a few areas with a chance for some freezing drizzle, including possibly into Winnipeg, although I'm not anticipating too much here, okay? For tomorrow morning by about 8 a.m., we should be at -13. Look at those southerly winds. They're not very strong for the first part of the day. They will be kicking up into the afternoon. So by about 4 p.m., we're at -6. However, by about 5 p.m., I'd expect us to be at -5. It won't stop there. Our temperature will be around -2 as we're approaching midnight. And then where does that put us? Well, into Thursday on the positive side of things. There's that warm air in place before that system pulls through and closes the door. And then those temperatures will be plummeting once again.
Thanks, Colette. More to come after the break. Stay with us. There's heartbreak across Canada's hockey community after the deaths of 3 young Junior A players in Alberta. JJ Wright, Cameron Casorza, and Caden Fine were members of the Southern Alberta Mustangs. They died in an accident about 100 kilometers south of Calgary when their car collided with a truck carrying gravel on their way to practice. Flags in the community where the teens lived have been lowered to half-mast, and a memorial has been set up outside the arena they played in. All 3 were in their first season with the team. Fine, just 17 years old, was from Birmingham, Alabama. 18-year-olds Casorza and Wright were both from Kamloops, BC. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Condolences have been pouring in from across the country for those hockey players, including from Prime Minister Mark Carney Tuesday morning.
It's a tragedy. It's the nightmare of every parent, every teammate, family, friends, and my heart goes out to obviously to the families of the victims and the team.
A new report shows Canada's auto industry is producing barely half the vehicles it did a decade ago. Nisha Patel on what's driving the decline and the solutions some are calling for.
Auto manufacturing in Canada has been sputtering. The number of cars built here down by 1 million vehicles compared to a decade ago.
There's just this general long-term move away from Canada from U.S.-based automakers.
According to a new report from nonprofit think tank The Trillium Network, U.S.-based automakers Ford, GM, and Stellantis produced 56% of the vehicles in Canada in 2016. Last year, they produced just 23%.
We were really excited in 2020 and in 2021 about all these new investments that are coming in, and very few, if any of them, have actually materialized.
But the Detroit Three say they've faced challenges. While revamping Canadian operations to make electric vehicles, the U.S. removed supports for EVs, then added steep tariffs, forcing the companies to shutter plants and lay off workers. Still, those automakers insist other parts of their supply chain are growing.
The D3 have invested in other facilities in Canada, be it engine plants and other parts and components, including batteries, but also R&D.
Meanwhile, Japanese automakers have picked up the slack. They now build the majority of the cars in Canada, about 77%.
Toyota and Honda, through thick and thin over the last 40 years, have never retreated from Canada.
Researchers say the federal government should give rewards and incentives to those companies that are growing their domestic manufacturing footprint.
Let's focus on those companies, and let's, they've shown their commitment to Canada. Let's show some commitment back to them.
It's a key consideration as the U.S. tries to get automakers to relocate their factories south of the border. Ottawa has been revving up its own plans and is expected to unveil its automotive strategy later this month. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Overseas now, French police have raided the Paris offices of Elon Musk's social media platform X. Authorities are also summoning Musk to speak with prosecutors. The search is part of a wide-ranging investigation into alleged criminal activity on X, particularly sexualized deepfake images created by its AI chatbot, Grok. The Ice House is no more. Team USA is changing the name of their Milan hospitality venue over anti-ice protests in the Olympic host city. The facility for hockey players, figure skaters, and speed skaters will now be called the Winter House. Officials say the change was made due to concerns about protests in Milan. Those started when it was revealed ICE agents would be deployed to the Winter Games to bolster security for American diplomats. It's just days before the opening ceremony of the Milano Cortina Olympic Games, and yet organizers are still trying to build buzz inside Italy. As Briar Stewart explains, beyond the most touristy areas, many Italians just aren't feeling Olympic fever quite yet.
In one of Milan's grandest piazzas, in a store where shelves are lined with souvenirs, it's not hard to find those excited for the Olympics. And considering this stuffed mascot will set you back about $100, there are plenty willing to shell out for swag.
We love Italy to begin with. And it was just a perfect opportunity to see the Winter Olympics.
These Albertans happen to be in the city for a conference and are staying to see the first Canada women's hockey game.
So how would you describe the mood here?
I'd say it's definitely ramping up for sure.
For the days leading up, it maybe hasn't had that feel, but it's getting more and more. You hear more, there's more people celebrating it.
But beyond the most touristy areas, there are fewer signs of Olympic fever, and there aren't many chances for the public to soak in the atmosphere if they wanted to. This is the only site in Milan where people are going to be able to gather to watch events on the big screen. And as you can see, just a few days before the opening ceremonies, still very much a work in progress. So is the neighborhood of Santa Giulia, home to the new hockey arena. This area is part of a multi-year revitalization plan that was supposed to accelerate with the Olympics. So far, not much has changed.
So do you think people in Milan are excited about the Olympics?
Not so far, I have to say. We will see afterwards.
This professor of urban planning says there's been a lot of debate about development in the city, which has some feeling ambivalent or even against the games. But he says that also happened before Milan hosted the World Expo in 2015.
But then after, it was quite successful and important also for the city. So I hope that after that something will happen.
So maybe after the Olympics, people will say, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yes.
So maybe the Olympic buzz will come when the sites are finished and the competition begins. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Milan.
Canada's team is aiming once again to finish near the top of the medal table at these Winter Games. Some of our best chances for medals are in freestyle skiing and snowboarding. Those events are taking place in a town high in the Italian Alps. CBC's Sarah Levitt takes us on a tour.
Welcome to Livigno, the small alpine town in northern Italy, about to get inundated by snowboarders and freestyle skiers. And what a place to host. It's completely surrounded by the Italian Alps and full of snow. Livigno's official population is 7,000, but as a popular European destination, skiers and snowboarders flock here throughout the season. Much of the competitions will take place on the slopes. But it's hard to miss one of the structures built specifically for these games, the snowboard big air jump. Let's go take a look. It's 50 meters high or 15 stories. That's about the height of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. At night during the competitions, it's going to be lit up nice and bright. We've caught a gondola up one of the mountains to really give you an idea why Livigno is known as Little Tibet. It's partly the winter conditions, but also its high altitude. It's 1,800 meters up, the highest town in Europe. Think somewhere between Toronto and Machu Picchu in Peru. For 2 weeks, this is the place to be if you're a major fan of snow sports. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Livigno, Italy.
From the slopes to the rink, the pressure is on to make sure all venues are competition ready, especially in the arena. Back in December, CBC News spent some time in Italy with the Canadian ice experts, making sure the rinks are just right. Chief Correspondent Adrian Arsenault has that story.
Brandon, have you got the dot?
It was a confident ice master back in December, willing to teach just about anybody how to try to get Olympic ice right.
Uh-oh. Yep.
That was an excellent start.
Oh.
At least Canadian Don Moffat knows what he's doing. I'm getting you wet.
That's okay.
He's in charge of the ice in both the smaller arena and the larger one.
Yeah, that's good.
And if you've heard concerns that the rinks in Milan won't be good enough, no, he's not worried, even if the venues themselves need a bit of work.
I have 100% confidence that we will be completely ready. This one has to be perfect.
Not to say preparing both rinks is easy.
The ice qualities of the level of professionalism in Europe is nowhere close to what the National Hockey League expects. I think we've done a pretty good job here of raising those expectations that just good enough is not good enough. It has to be the absolute best that we can do.
The Olympics always represent a moment to push boundaries, and not just with athletes, but with technology too. And with the ice, there is a big experiment underway over at speed skating. In a space typically used as an exhibition hall, they've built a temporary oval, a global first. If it works, another Canadian ice master, Mark Messer, says it could make the sport accessible almost anywhere.
We need to prove this can do it.
So you can't screw this up?
Well, we can never screw this up. I mean, number one, we're Canadian. We don't screw up. We do the best we can.
Harder, colder, smoother ice than hockey, and here built on a layer of insulation. When we watched fine-tuning underway in December, the feedback from the long track speed skaters was that this reminded athletes of this. It sounded hollow, like skating on lakes. Romantic maybe, but not what athletes are used to competing on. Some suggesting it left them with the impression the ice would crack at the corners. Those are notes Messer takes seriously.
They have to get it in their head that that's the sound. Other than that, it should feel the same. It also tells me that we haven't fine-tuned the water composition, for one, and the temperatures that we want.
So just as athletes train and finesse until the last moments, getting the ice Olympic ready is a feat all of its own. Adrienne Arsenault, CBC News, Milan.
You can watch Adrienne's full report from Milan tonight on The National or on The National's YouTube channel right now. And on Friday, join Adrienne live alongside her co-host, Devin Haru from CBC Sports for the opening ceremony. Special coverage starts at 12:30 p.m. And a reminder, during the Olympic Winter Games, CBC Winnipeg News will move to 5 o'clock for a half-hour cast for the duration of the Games. Well, baking for better health. Some potential competitors for the latest edition of CBC's The Great Canadian Baking Show say why they love baking. That's ahead. Stay with us. The Great Canadian Baking Show is gearing up for its 10th season, and it's doing auditions in more places than ever this year. Some would-be competitors say they're drawn to baking for the health benefits. Cheyenne Desjardins explains how that works.
Less chance of having a crumble.
Patricia Noonan's love of baking took off during the pandemic, and when a brain injury 5 years ago prevented her from working, this is the one thing that never changed.
People always appreciated it before and gushed over it, and they still do. So I feel like it's a part of me that I still have, and it's a really big deal for me.
Now she's auditioning for the Great Canadian Baking Show. This show executive says applications are on track to surpass last year. Events have been reaching capacity, and they've had to start waitlist. It's all amateur home bakers, a hobby that grew during COVID, and he says continues to.
It's almost meditative baking for some people, so I think they leaned into it there. They found they loved it. And they made time for it afterwards.
Some even looking to make it a full-time career.
So we're gonna have this as one of our treats today.
The Culinary Institute of Canada says not only does its pastry arts program have a wait list, it's getting more and more applications.
It's like an old skill that has always existed coming back. Think knitting, think preserving of any kind. I think baking hits that stride.
There are mental health benefits too. This therapist uses baking with her clients.
Baking in and of itself is very mindful because you're in the moment, you're following the recipes, you're gathering the ingredients, and you're using all 5 senses.
At the auditions, this baker has experienced that firsthand.
All my anger comes out into that pastry, and it's so relieving. Emotional regulation is so important.
An occupational therapist by trade, he dreams of opening a bakery of his own, helping those with intellectual disabilities. And even impressing the judges would be icing on the cake, or in his case, a Scottish pie. Cheyenne Desjardins, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Well, you know, their temperatures have been right around or close to 10 degrees for a few days there in Calgary. But the next 3 days, add another 5 or 7 degrees to that. Yeah, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, parts of Alberta pushing. Do you even want to know about this? Yes, pushing into the mid to upper teens. Now, we do have a bit of a moderation in temperatures where this past hour we've been finding those readings, not only minus 13 in Winnipeg, but the wind chill of about minus 20. Well, there'll be a moderation with those temperatures into tomorrow. We have that weak area of low pressure, you know, a few flurries here and there, a little bit of light snow. Hasn't been much to it. We're talking about kind of a centimeter or so with this system. And then we get some clearing carving out. However, then there'll be another area of low pressure that will be gathering. And this one will be quite a bit stronger with more significant snowfall, although that kind of pushes across the northern prairies. So northern Manitoba, and probably won't make it south of the Inner Lakes region as it's going to be tracking over into northern Ontario. So do just watch out. There'll be some areas in here where we do get some higher snowfall amounts, and that's really through the day tomorrow. And then by tomorrow evening, it's across the provincial border. Now, as we take you into Thursday, we get into some of that much milder air across the province. However, by Friday, the trailing edge, the cold front goes through, and the temperatures will be dropping once again. So just from the first system, that weak low that's moving through, a trace to, you know, a centimeter is about all we've been seeing. This next one is a different story. Over 15 centimeters, certainly possible. Thompson Island Lake, that 10 to 15 centimeters or so, and it should just kind of clip across so that we're not seeing or experiencing any of that snow further south. I do want to point out those winds. Yeah, we're dealing with more of a northerly flow, but tomorrow they shift to the south. By tomorrow afternoon, they pick up, and we'll have gusts over 40 or even over 50 kilometers an hour, but it will be pushing those temperatures up too. So we've kind of seen that to western parts of the province, even further south. Temperatures have been milder than what they've been to the east, but that begins to turn over as we get some of that air working its way in because of that shift with the wind direction. So really looking forward to that improvement, I'm sure. And also looking forward to the dog walk tomorrow. And how about tonight with Nala? What a doll. Jaslyn sending in the sweetheart. I love the ears. It's the ears. I mean, the get-up's pretty cute too, but I know how hard those are or can be to put on because of my dog. But really, really cute there. And looking good tomorrow. Just gets a little breezy later in the day, but I don't think anyone's going to mind that too much with the high temperature actually coming later in the evening.
Thank you very much, Colette. It is Black History Month. Every February, it honors the experiences, achievements, and enduring contributions of Black communities in Canada. Celebrations will be popping up around Winnipeg and the province throughout the month. In the Pembina Trail School Division, 2 grade 12 students are organizing the celebrations and events at Shaftesbury High School. They spoke to Information Radio host Marcy Marcusa this morning. Here is part of their conversation.
Well, what does it mean to the two of you to be involved with this? Like, what motivates you to do the work?
When we first started this club/committee, it was really important that we were creating that community for students to feel respected, accepted, heard, and seen, because we too would want that for ourselves. And so being able to be in that position to lead the actions that could be taken so that students are able to build those connections was very impactful for us. And then seeing that impact in the students around us was also very fulfilling.
I love that. I'm writing it down. Respected, accepted, heard, and seen. You should sell shirts that say that. I would totally buy one of those to support as an ally myself. So I wonder where you haven't felt, as young Black women in our community, respected, accepted, heard, and seen. What kind of experiences have you had?
I think it can be experiences all across different spaces. I don't think it's set to one particular experience or one particular space. I think the important thing is not having allies or people similar to you around you to feel supported and feel like you have that community who's willing to hear you out and listen to what you have to say and what you have to bring to the table. And so it was really important for us with Diversify to create that community and create that foundation for our school so that once we graduate, the people coming up behind us have that space already built for them.
I love that. It's like I guess it's like a legacy of sorts. Like it's like you said, you're building something.
Yeah.
And how about for you? What has your experience been like in our community where you feel like, okay, obviously we have work to do?
Mm-hmm. I think as someone who immigrated to Canada, it was definitely rough at first, like figuring out where I fit in. And so like not having that place built for me, like Zion has says, and then now being in that position to build it, it's like seeing what it's like to not have that community, that environment. And so just trying to channel that like past experience into a more positive one for future students coming in, future community members, I think is what like really pushes us forward.
Nigeria, right?
Nigeria, yes.
So the theme this year of Black History Month overall is honoring Black brilliance across generations, from nation builders to tomorrow's visionaries. How's the theme present in some of the events that you're organizing? What would you like to highlight in terms of specific things you're doing?
I think when just coming in with the intent of all the activities and all the events we're planning for Black History Month, it was really important for the theme to be prevalent in our intent. And so this year, every Friday, we'll be present on the announcements at our school, and we'll also be hosting some fun trivia at the front foyer just to get everybody excited about Black History Month. And we're also very involved in decorating all our bulletin boards. But our main event is going to be hosting a STEM panel with different Black and POC university students and medical professionals, just to showcase their experiences as Black and POCs in these difficult fields, but also because we recognize a lot of people in our school really are interested in STEM and would love to get into it, but also may not feel like they have anyone to look up to or have anyone who's been there already, who maybe can mentor them or lead them or show them a little bit of what it's like. And so it was really important for us in particular to host something that obviously follows the theme, honoring Black brilliance, but also setting something behind for the people at our school.
You guys are right on point with that. Of course, you might have been hearing some of the national stories about the lack of research across this country in Canada, like for people in the healthcare system for Black people, and then by extension, they just don't get the care that they need, especially women.
Yes.
Especially women. So having that panel is a really great idea. Who reached out? Like, how did you guys put that panel together to say, hey, will you come and talk to the students?
I think we first discussed between ourselves, like, what do we want to see? And then after that, we looked within our own communities, like in our friend groups, in our church groups. And we were like, we have so many people in these fields, and it's like, we have the chance to give them a space to be heard, seen, and to share their stories. And we also have students who need to hear that experience, to see the experience. And it's like, it just connected itself, knowing that we have the information, we have the people who would like to receive the information. And so it's just working with our principals, finding a way to create that bridge, and then the planning. And so we just reached out to our community members. Oh, would you be willing to speak out to the students? And we've talked to our friends and like, would you guys like this opportunity? And they're like, yes, everyone's so excited to take part in this experience that we're trying to build.
Rock legends Motley Crue will be performing at this year's Rock and Thunder concert series at Princess Auto Stadium. Country music superstar Kane Brown will headline the Country Thunder series, which kicks off July 3rd. Tickets go on sale this Friday.
Welcome back. Well, folks, you know, we've got some ups and downs All right, we always do, I guess, in our forecast as we're moving forward. But some of the ups are coming our way for the next couple of days when we look at the temperatures. So tomorrow in the afternoon, -5. That's late afternoon. The temperature keeps rising. We'll be around -2 as we approach midnight. And by Thursday, 3 degrees. A lot of cloud cover for tomorrow. But as we move towards Thursday, I'm hoping we have some sun. So a mix of sun and cloud. You can tell my confidence in that part of the forecast. There could be a little extra cloud cover in here. I do know that we'll certainly get some cold air pushing in behind that front, and that's why as we head into Friday, temperatures drop right back off, and then we definitely have some cloud cover as we're pushing through the weekend, but the temps rebound a little bit too. Marjorie.
Thank you very much, Colette. A loud chorus of voices echoed out of a packed auditorium at the Canadian Mennonite University last night. People gathered to sing songs in support of their neighbors in Minneapolis. Those who attended say it was also a way to show solidarity, but also to find strength in the company of others.
I think that there is a lot of worry, fear, and anger in the world right now, watching what's happening in Minneapolis and places all over the world, and that there is a real felt need to do something about that. People are yearning to get involved and take action of some kind, and this is one way we can do that. There's something that's really special about singing together.
My partner's family is in Minneapolis. They're involved in the protests and the organizing. We're worried for everybody. We're also really proud of them for standing up for what they believe in.
I think it's really important. I know that I have chosen not to go to the U.S. and because of all the things that are happening, but at the same time, there are a lot of people in the U.S. who are very, very concerned with what's happening, and I believe that we need to stand with them and support them as best we can. I think it grounds us. Sometimes it just feels so hopeless and so helpless, and it feels good to know that there's other people who are wanting to reach out as well, and that's grounding.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. We'll see you back here again tomorrow night.